Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Power Ranger podcast. I am your host, Dr. Pittman, and joining me is my always co-host from Disney Brain, JWR.
Hi everybody. So today, so I guess we should just get into it and discuss what we're going to be covering in today's show.
Yes.
So to start off with, today I believe marks the 13th anniversary of the premiere of Power Rangers RPM. So we'll be talking about that briefly. And as most of you know, the first half of Power Rangers Dino Fury season 2 just dropped on Netflix. The first 11 as part 1 referring to the first 11 episodes of season 2. So normally we would like the originally the plan was that we would just talk about season 2 part 1 in one big chunk, our overall, and just like delve into our overall main thoughts about it, our favorite episodes, whatnot. But here's the thing. As we've mentioned this before, but news like the well for Power Rangers news has been relatively dry for these last couple of weeks, if not months. So we figured that a good way to to pass the time and give us something worthwhile to talk about, we would discuss each episode of season 2A week by week, so that, as I said before, we still have something to talk about, and so that in case nothing, no major announcements come up in the meantime, you'll still this won't just be like 20 minutes of dead air. That's I get that was
I
that's
agree.
the main intention. So even if nothing drops, we should at least have enough content to last us to May at least.
Yep. Hopefully. Hopefully, some news will drop, and our players will be it. So, yes, we got topics, as always. We have, yes, as JWR has rightly pointed out, that we are celebrating the 13th anniversary of Power Rangers RPM. We're also going to be talking about celebrating the 3-year anniversary of Power Rangers Beast Morphers and give our thoughts to it. And we're going to discuss the first episode of the first half of season 2 of Down of Fury.
Well, the first episode of season two period.
Yep, yep. Yeah. Title episode of that was Numero Uno. So yeah, let's get this anniversary out of the way. So happy 13th anniversary Power Rangers RPM. And you said that this was one of the best seasons of Power Rangers.
Yes, not yes, and I did, and I still feel that way. Not just in comparison to the season on itself. The season by itself is pretty good, but considering the circumstances surrounding the making of RPM, it's all the more impressive that the show wasn't a total train wreck. I mean, you have to remember that this was near the this was the tail end of the Disney era of Power Rangers. Disney had basically they never wanted Power Rangers or any part of it to begin with, but this was the point where they were ready to axe the show entirely. They dumped it on the 8:30 a.m. slot on ABC Kids. There were limited reruns, and on top of all this, the production of this season was a nightmare. The show went over budget. Some of the writers, I think the head writer Eddie Gazalian was at one point fired. They had to bring Chip Lynn in just I guess to fill in and take his place. It was like with all this chaos in mind, it's a miracle that RPM not only turned out to be decent, but would actually go on to be one of the best, in my opinion, the best seasons the Power Rangers has ever had.
Oh heck yeah, heck yeah. And I also like what they tried to do and love the drama aspect to the Power Rangers RPM.
Oh yeah, this season was, well, I don't want to say arguably the darkest season of Power Rangers to date. Is all the more like you're shocking considering that the Sentai that it's based on, Go Anju, it is it's like is the complete opposite in terms of tone and feeling.
And the fact,
Go on, yeah, Go Anju, yeah.
and the fact that Scott's brother died,
Oh yeah,
and that shook me because we don't usually have a Power Ranger death, and this was the first time that somebody had well, died since Power in Pink in Lost Galaxy.
yeah. Well, not just died, but died and stayed dead. Like we all thought that Mike from Lost Galaxy died, but then he didn't. We all thought at one point that Kendrix died, but she came back at the end, and then the same thing with Alex and so on and so forth. Like usually when somebody dies in Power Rangers, they come back to life by the end of the episode or the end of the season. No, here he died. Like Scott's brother, he dies like permanently.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I was like, the fact that we have a permanent death in a Power Ranger show just shook me as a Power Ranger fan.
yeah,
I was like, whoa, homie. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff, man. But I would see Scott get a battleizer. I mean, what would happen if Scott would have gotten a battleizer?
did he? I don't think he did.
Yeah, I know he didn't, but what would happen if they did?
Oh, would have been interesting. Actually, don't know. I don't know how they would have made it work, but it would have been interesting. But it would have been interesting if they made something up for the show, kind of like how they created the Titanium Ranger for Lightspeed Rescue. It would have been interesting.
Ooh, my. That, that would have been interesting to see. The Zords, though, were fun.
Oh, they were. They were. Oh, man. I don't know if I would call them my favorite lineup of Rangers, but like the lineup of Rangers in RPM might be the most thoroughly developed. Like the cast in RPM might be the most thoroughly developed out of any cast in the show.
Yeah. And the fact that they were self aware. Not just the morphing sequence, the morphing call, the suits, everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that they mentioned their Sentai counterparts, Go Anjo.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. Holy moly. That was actually kind of cool to think about. And I think looking back, it's still cool.
Yeah.
The fact they've mentioned the counter. I can't believe it. But their morphers were kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The shell shift morphers, there. I think Dylan Ziggy's morphers, cool. Yeah, all of them were cool.
Yeah, and I think on Iran, it's ironic that one of the that what is that it's that one of the high, that arguably the one of the high points for the Power Rangers franchise was then swiftly followed by some of its lowest points, which I guess kind of made a lot of people who even the people who didn't really so much care for RPM when it came out in 2009 appreciated a lot more looking back on it.
Yeah, growing up. Yeah, growing up, I always watched the reruns of the original, and then Time Force. But RPM shook me to its very core,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still fun. It's still fun to watch, looking back. So anyway, happy 13th anniversary, Power Rangers RPM. Yes, yes, yes. Now. So next topic here, the 3-year anniversary of Beast Mode. So what is your thoughts on it when you first watched Beast Mode?
Um, I have looking back on it, I have more mixed feelings on it than I did when it initially dropped. Because here's the thing, I really do think that I think I don't know about you, but shortly after or shortly before Super Ninja Steel essentially concluded the Neo Saban era, I don't think I think it's I think it's fair to say that a lot of us were just used to how to Power Rangers just being mediocre, bare minimum. I think a lot of us had low, low, low expectations for Power Rangers moving forward after the Neo Saban era, and especially after Super Ninja Steel. So when Beast Morphers first aired, and it was like which was supposed to be like which was the first season of the Hasbro era, or the transition between the Neo Saban and Hasbro. I think a lot of us kind of, myself included, got a little bit swept up in the hype, and we're just happy that a Power Rangers season wasn't bad. And we I guess I'm trying to say is we were so used to it being mediocre, so bare bones, and so lazy that all Beast Morphers had to do was put forth the bare minimum effort, and it would be hailed as the best season. And for a while, at least when it first dropped, it was. Although
Yeah,
looking back, some of the hype and the praise was a bit overblown.
yeah, I agree.
The first season of Beast Morphers, not perfect, but it was decent. Decent, gave us a lot of hope for what the show could be like without Saban. Second season, well, I mean, yeah, okay. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not it kind of it started off okay. It got off to a decent start, but kind of fell apart near the end. Although it had its moments, and like the last four episodes or whatnot, somewhat redeemed the season from being a total waste.
Yeah, I agree. Mm, I guess it's my turn to give you thought. Or do you have it like something more? You like something to add on to it?
Um, not not much. Although I'll actually, yeah, I do. One more thing.
Oh, good.
I think we were at the time more lenient towards Beast Morphers and some of its faults, because again it was a transitional season, so that's also partially why we were not as critical of it at the time, or why some of us were I guess trying to convince ourselves that it was better than it actually was.
Uh, so here's my thoughts on it. When I first watched Beast Morphers, I instantly loved it. The fact that they mentioned the morphing grid now has like this green energy. It was very cool and it was very enjoyable. I love the morph sequence. I mean, I like how they kept the spy feeling. The theme I would definitely change. While it's catchy, it still has that Go Go Power Rangers line.
Hmm.
Why? Look, I get it's for the newbies, for the oh, I get it. It's for the tagline for the kids, but at least change it up a bit.
That would require effort.
Yeah, I love the comedy sometimes, and
Sometimes.
Still might be the best uh, char- character on the show.
Oh, for sure. He is far and away the highlight of the season.
He's just so freaking funny and perfect. See, my favorite episode of Steel Winch where he tried to punish everybody for doing bad dudes. I was like,
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I was just laughing at that. Oh. And I love Devin's Red Fury mode. That was pretty cool. But
Yeah,
it's
I like. Yeah, the
but it's
costumes and original
got
creations were
a
nice.
temporary. Temporary. Oh man. Why can't we get Devin per, a permanent battleizer? Because
Hmm.
it well, Beast X mode is cool. I like that. And then when I first saw the Beast X mode, I thought it instant thoughts of Jungle Fever with Jungle Master mode came up to play. So like they
I saw
repainted
that.
it.
I could see that.
I feel like they repainted it. I mean, it's not bad, but they could have done a lot better. And I think the Rangers can't think Rangers will honestly ticked me off when I first started watching it because in Super Ninja Steel, Haley and Calvin dated while they were Rangers. Why can't why can't Robbie and Roxy date as Rangers?
Yeah, I never got that.
Yeah. I mean, I never got it either. This, this was all. Thank God the Commander Shaw, dropped that role. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Well,
And still, like, he did it. Mhm.
my my biggest issue was that it added not is that it added nothing. Like the subplot where like Zoe and I think his name is Zoe and I think Nate becoming romantically involved. It added nothing to the season at all. Which
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't. And it, I mean, I could see it in some ways, but from a romantic point of view, I can see it. But from a Ranger point of view, but for a fan's point of view, it's a no. I mean, Zoe is a beautiful woman, beautiful lady, and I could see, and and I could see the tie. Oh my goodness, I can't speak tonight. I don't know why. I don't know why. But yeah, these two weren't compatible together. No,
yeah.
yeah,
Although I guess I would blame that more to I guess stiff direction, creative interference, however you like to call it. I think the main cast though the main cast never had particularly strong chemistry with each other.
gotcha.
They were a bit
Yeah,
they were all a bit stiff. Even they outside of Steel, everybody was a bit I guess a bit stiff at times.
yeah, Cotton guard. Yeah, outside Steel, they weren't really much. They
Not a
got
ter
pushed up.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It has its moments, but it has it still has some glaring flaws that keep it from being like that keep it from being as fondly remembered or as fondly remembered as a season like SPD or whatnot. Although it's an improvement over Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel, and like Samurai, but not a vast improvement.
Yeah, I can't blame you on that one. Can't blame you there. But I did like the Megazord though. Megazord was all right.
Yeah, the Megazord was neat.
Yeah, and the Striker Megazord was kind of cool though.
It was.
Very cool. The B-Sex Ultra should have been Austin. I had a better name. I had a better name for it though in my head when I was watching this.
Oh, really? What was it?
It was the Beast X Striker Megazord.
Oh, that is catchy.
That is catchy. I like the Beast. Yeah, I like the Beast X Sword. I mean,
Anything else you want to say, or do you think do you think you just about exhausted everything you wanted to say on Beast Morphers?
yeah, I did. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm done. So happy 3-year anniversary to Beast Morphers. Now we have to talk about the first episode of season 2 of
Our
Dynasty.
main our main topic, which is, as you said, the season 2, episode 1, or season 2, episode 1, or episode 23 of Dino Fury,
Yes,
called Numero Uno.
that is correct. I mean, so I'll let you go first, JWR.
Sure. I guess we should get into. I guess we should start by sharing our main thoughts on the episode overall.
Alright. So, woo. Oh, aren't you gonna go first?
You could go first.
Oh, I can go first. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, the Wu sequence was a cool way to start the season. I actually loved it. The humor was on point. Hey, Austin, how you doing? I'm doing well, Austin. And yeah, I love the humor. I like they improved of what they've learned in season 1. Great. Beautiful. And I love the T-Rex cosmic Megazord. That's actually kind of dope. Can't lie on that. But anyway, yeah, back to the episode. Okay. Like how Amelia of the Pink Ranger, worked at a job at Buzz Blast while being a ranger at the same time. Austin says, "What is the show? This is a Power Ranger podcast. Can't say I'm sorry. I love game shows, but this is a Power Ranger podcast, Austin. Sorry, buddy. But my favorite game show is Millionaire. But anyway, back to Austin's keeping me. Yeah, Austin Tech Private Jet. So comments. Austin says, "What is your favorite game show?"
Where are you getting this?
Yeah, Austin. Live viewer comments. So.
Oh.
Yeah, back to the episode. And yeah, it was it started off good. I love it. Yeah, the monsters though were very cool in season 2. And the fact that Void Knight is there, trying to still revive his wife, as everyone knows, with the Sporix, and the fact that she came to life as human, and I was like, whoa. It was kind of cool to see some dissension in the villain ranks. And as I said, we don't often get a main female villain in the franchise. For example, Rita Repulsa. That's the name. Rita Repulsa. Astronomer. And
Astronomer. Does Queen Ventrikina?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Does Queen Vansira count?
Queen Trapina?
No, Vansira. Vansira from Lightspeed Rescue. Does she count or not?
Queen Vansira. Yeah, I think she counts. And I thought Diabolica was the main villain, but
I mean, he
Yeah.
is. That's why I asked whether or not it counted, because Diabolical was the main villain of Lightspeed Rescue, and Queen Bansheera was kind of showed up later as the end, as like the end game threat. Kind of a similar situation here, where we thought that Void Knight was the big bad of the show, and then Void Queen pops up. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna count Void Queen as a main female villain, I guess by that same metric by that same logic we can also kind of count Queen Bansheera as like as the main female villain.
Mm,
I mean,
yeah. We fought, and yeah, we all know Diabolico is the main villain of that season.
yeah.
But Queen Bansheera only showed me like at the end, but she did make a viable threat. So guess we'll counter. I guess we'll counter.
Actually, I guess we can, since she always had like a looming presence in Lightspeed Rescue before she made her proper first appearance.
Yeah. And the fact that she betrayed her own henchman.
Hey, wait, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get
We'll
to
get
that.
to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But it's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't often get a main villain, female villain of this franchise. For example, Rita Repulsa, Strana.
Yeah. So overall, what were your thoughts on it? Like final thoughts on
My
on
final
numero uno.
on numero uno. I loved it. Good start to the season.
Any
I hope.
any significant cons or things that kept you
Okay,
from like
there were
fully
some
enjoying it?
cons. There were some cons to the episode. I mean, the con was we don't see Izzy and Hobby's swords. Stego Spike Sword and the Tiger Claw Sword. Because we don't see them there.
Yeah, right, that
I mean, it
was
was kind of
weird.
cool seeing the other Zords, which is kind of cool. That's kind of dope. And there were another con I missed. That fact, wait. Oh, there was another con that I missed. Hmm. Yeah, I can't think of another con except.
But overall, you liked it. Yeah,
Yeah, but
good start.
overall, I liked
Good
it.
start.
And the fact that, yeah, overall, I liked it. It's great.
Yeah. I suppose I should start by saying that I also thought this was a fairly strong start to the season. Like right from the beginning, I love how they're showing off how much more they can do with the budget that under what they're showing off the budget that they now got with Netflix backing it, because like there's we open with this shot of Zato like running and jumping across rooftops, and then all the Rangers come out of buildings to fight the monster. It's 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 a really it like I love how like right off the bat we're starting off with the sense of like a sense of like energy and like and like and dynamic action sequence. Now now I believe Simon Bennett said that they planned this the way the episode opened was how they intended it to open, and they weren't expecting to get the budget that they got when it moved over to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Either case, it's still a really impressive action sequence, and I like that the you said it earlier, but I think it bears repeating that the humor for this first episode is surprisingly on point. Like they feel. I think one of the biggest strengths of Dino Fury is the chemistry between the cast. There is no like they feel because like we were talking earlier about how the cast in Beast Morphers was a little bit bland. Not the case here. They're lively, they're energetic. I love the way they bounce off of each other and play to and how their interactions. It's great, and that was one of the highlights of the first season, and that carries over here. Also, it's small, but like I love the I love. I'd say my favorite moment from the episode, aside from the opening action sequence, was when when Izzy notices that they're being spied on by the monster through the laptop, and she starts shouting like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." That was that got a chuckle out of me.
Mhm. That's, mm, I mean, yeah, it was legit. Love the season. Love this new start. I've actually found a con to it.
Hmm?
To well, my thoughts. I mean, it's just Centura. While she is a pro, she's also a con because one, how does she know the Sporix? Where does she know their history?
I mean, I imagine so.
I mean, it was a little confusing, and
Is it though? I mean, it makes sense that she would know about Sporix since both her and Void Knight are lovers.
yeah, I mean, and we don't think the Sporix made her evil.
Well, they might. Well, they didn't. Well, not. Well, that remains to be seen, I guess.
Mm,
Maybe they made her evil. Maybe they yeah, who knows? Maybe they made her evil. Maybe they just I guess what's the word? Exaggerated what traits in her that already existed.
I mean, and there's another one. There was free cons. I mean, yeah, while it's cool to see her as Flea Queen, it's just, I mean, does she want to be a villain? Is what I'm trying to say here.
Don't know. Although
I mean, she always had the tendency and thoughts to be who she is now.
well, maybe not. Although again, I feel like we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves,
Yep,
just a bit. But overall, yeah, I liked it.
yep,
Not like perfect, but like certainly a good start to the to a good start to the second half of Dino Fury. I said I said it earlier, but if this season sticks the I guess if the rest of will go more in depth with this as we discuss future episodes, but thus far I'm a lot more confident that this season will
me
stick
too.
the landing and end well than I was with Beast Morphers at this point. Now again the they could completely crop the bed of the last 11 episodes. We don't know. But as of now, I'm confident, I have faith, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Good, good, good. Now, before we head out of here, before we end the show right here, you asked Disney Brain that if Dino Fury doesn't completely wet the bed in its last quarter, where it might where might it land on his ranking relative to the Neo Sovereign era? And he said to you that it was a good question, and that he would, in this case, be distinguishing season one of Dino Fury from season two in the same way he did for Beast Morphers, because as far as he concerned, season two of Beast Morphers is so far off that it may as well be a completely different show. I mean, that having that having been said, Down of Fury season two is as good as the second half as it was in the first, then it may be clear of Beast Morpher Season 1, but perhaps not Dino Charge Season 1. I can totally agree with him on that
Yeah.
because it's not completely aimless.
Like, yeah, I said that. I said that. Like, even though for as much crap as I talked about about Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel, like each each season of Power Rangers has like a good season, has a good or decent season premiere. Even Super Ninja Steel had a good season premiere. I think the I think the problem was that when I is that, as you said before, well, as you quoted me, it felt aimless, mostly just meandering filler, and to the point where it felt like nothing really eventful happened in Super Ninja Steel, save for 3 or 4 episodes scattered throughout it. Every with everything else either being completely meandering or repetitive filler, which I want to say that filler is kind of, I guess, a misused word in certain fandoms. Filler by its own isn't bad. In a monster of the week show, filler is to be expected. Filler is fine as long as because it can give you an opportunity to, um I guess give your audience a breather, develop characters, do something that feels like it's contributing to the story in some way, shape, or form. Filler by itself is not bad. How
And
you implement the filler, how you implement and execute the filler, is what makes it good or bad. And most of the filler I felt in Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel was not executed very well, or in a way that was very engaging.
and it hurt. I mean, you said why won't you said Dino Fury probably won't have a Time Force or Lost Galaxy tier ending. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I could be wrong. It could absolutely blow us away in its last 11 episodes. But I'm choosing to keep my expectations, to have somewhat reasonable expectations, and just expect it to be. I don't need or expect it to be one of the all-time greatest seasons of Power Rangers. It's probably not going to be that. And expecting every season to be as good as Time Force or Lost Galaxy or Wild Force or
Like,
whatever, it's just I just I said that in part because I wanted to have somewhat reasonable expectations. I don't need it to be the greatest season of Power Rangers. I just need it to be good. And thus far it has been good. Oh, and not just good in comparison to the Neo Saban era, not just good um compared to Samurai or whatnot. I mean, legitimately good on its own right, in its own right, in a way that allows it to stand on its own feet. And thus far, I feel that Dino Fury has been just that, good, not great, not oh my god, this is the best season of Power Rangers ever, but good.
you would have saved that for Ninja Storm though.
Actually, hmm, I if they can put I will honestly I would honest if they can pull this off, if they can stick the landing, I think this could be up there with Ninja Storm in terms of being one of my personal favorites. My my personal subject uh, my favorites referring to my personal subjective list of Power Rangers seasons. In no way do I mean that like it's objectively one of the best seasons ever. But yeah, I like it. I like what they've. I think this is a good way to start the season, to start the second half of Dino Fury. I like where we're going. I hope that it continues with this trajectory.
Gotcha, gotcha. Fair and fair. All in through. And I hope we get another Power Rangers season in the future. But who knows?
I think we will. I'm almost certain that we will. I'm almost certain that we will get another season after this. The thing that's getting to me though is the uncertainty, the fact that we don't know what Hasbro's going to do after this. Like I'm sure we will get something by I think Power Morpher Con is in August. We're gonna get something by then. I just hope that we get some tidbit of news before August. We'll know for certain by August, but I hope we get something before that.
Well, only time will tell. Who's to say? So, yep, I believe that is it for this. Yep, I believe that is it for this episode of the Power Rangers podcast. If y'all guys like this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. And when I go live, also go follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you, JWR, for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me. So next week is probably going to be more of the same, unless some breaking story happens over the sometime in between episodes, which I don't anticipate. Next week we're going to be talking in depth about episode 24 of Dino Fury, titled the Festival. Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that.
Same Ranger time, same Ranger channel.
That is correct. Until we meet again, may the power protect you. Always.
Always.